So my name is Kim Goins, and I am the Executive Director for the Clyde Malone African American Community Center here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm thankful to be before you today. Before we get started, I need all of you, so if your legs are crossed, cross your legs, because we're going to do a little exercise real quick, okay? Now, I will not tell you how high my heels are, because I like for people to think I'm almost 6 foot. So I'm going to stand on one foot, and I want you to take your right leg, and I want you to just make small little circles clockwise. Clockwise, small circles. As you're doing that, I want you to now take your right hand and make a number 6. Did you see your legs started changing? Let me tell you why that's going to be important. Because what we're going to talk about today is Lincoln, a tale of two cities, and it's really around poverty. And so many people think poverty is just as, why can't they make a different decision, right? Why can't someone just pull themselves up poverty? And as we just saw by that exercise, sometimes we want to make one decision and it really doesn't happen for us. So my husband and I, we relocated from Texas. So if I say y'all a lot, that's why. I'm not really acclimated yet. About 2.5, 3 years ago. And I have to say, this has been the most dynamic experience we've ever had. We love this city. The city should pay us to be their chief marketing officers, okay? We love living here. And part of our experience early on was we met so many amazing entrepreneurs. I see a lot of you guys in here today. So many CEOs of companies here that have actual global impact. The university is just cranking out some of the brightest students that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. And so because that was our experience coming on, my second week here, I called my best girlfriend back home and I say, listen, oh my God, we're the poor people here, right? And that was my experience. I thought everybody in Lincoln was rich. And part of that is because, right, you guys like to tout your 2.3% unemployment rate. I think it's 2.6 the last that I heard. We also came here the year that there was no murders. Maybe it was like the last week. And everybody seemed to be doing well. And although there were a couple of homes that I've seen that I don't want to live in, just because I don't like projects and a lot of yard work, there was not a neighborhood that I was afraid to go in. And so because of that entire outside experience, I thought, wow, everyone here must be doing extremely well. We, the Goins, have landed into Mayberry, which is pretty exciting. Well, my husband was part of a little small project, if you guys remember, called Prosper Lincoln. And Prosper Lincoln collected about 2,000 ideas from around the city and what should be the key initiatives for Lincoln to focus on. And what I found because of Prosper Lincoln was there's real poverty in this city. And I was shocked about that. So you know that 2.3%, that 2.6% unemployment rate? Well, for blacks in the same community, it's actually 3 times higher than that. There are also communities here where 43%, depending on which census tract you're in, is just 43% poverty. You have schools like McPhee Elementary where the students, 90% of those students, right, are on free or reduced lunch. And I've just not seen those kind of numbers in a community this size because, again, coming from the Dallas area, big metroplex, you absolutely see communities that I will not go in the daytime, and that was not true for here. And when I had the opportunity to join the Malone Community Center, I was pretty excited because I think this was our time to really see how we can help impact some of those numbers and make a difference here. So at the Malone Community Center, what we say now is how do we do our part in ending multi-generational poverty with education being the lever? So everything we do, all of our programming, education is the foundation because what we all know is this: the quickest path out of poverty is through education. So we get the pleasure of coming up with unique programmings that will absolutely help us prevent and close the achievement gap, the accessibility gap, and the belief gap. And so that's what I focus on every single day. So the achievement gap, as you can imagine, is essentially what it sounds, is how do we ensure that our 3 to 5-year-old students are prepared for kindergarten? So we've partnered with LPS in a very dynamic way to make sure we have their curriculum in our building so our students are ready. We also are in the schools as behavioral specialists or partner alongside the behavior specialists to make sure that our children aren't being put back into one of the remedial schools or the behavior schools here, or even in special education, because what I have the benefit of knowing is that they move every 30 days. And some of the statistics that I found out, when a kid moves in district, right, so they move from home to home and stay in the same school, in every 30 days, they lose 30 days of education, okay? So just from home to home couch surfing. If they move from school district to school district, so right here in LPS, they lose 6 months. 6 months of education. So that's what we're doing at the Malone Center, is how do we really make sure that we're closing that achievement gap? And then secondly, we look at the accessibility gap, which is really huge, right? So whenever I want to go somewhere, I just go to my garage and I jump in my car, and because I'm from Texas, it's not me, my car just wants to go really fast. So if you see the Texas plates, just forgive me. But I have the access, right, to traverse any part of the city that I'd like to. So many people don't have that opportunity. And with the bus system, and I know it's getting better, I keep hearing that, but some people don't live close, right, to transportation. So then how do we expect them to have access, right, to healthy food options? Because in the neighborhood we take care of, we don't have a major grocery store. So what we do at the Malone Community Center is Hy-Vee delivers all of our healthy meals every single day. So again, we're closing that accessibility gap. And then lastly, the belief gap. All of our students know what year they're going to graduate from college, because we've set the expectation that high school is it's what you're going to do. And so if you walk in our building in about a week, because they're just putting it up, all of our students, their names and their photos of the year that they graduate from college is up there. And now we're really supporting that effort with some parenting programs, because we all need to be on the same exact page. So this is what I challenge each of you to do before you leave here today and then through the night. Number one, I challenge you to have a real conversation with yourself and your families to say, how can we do our part in helping end multi-generational poverty? Secondly, feel free to come see the Malone Center. Also, go to prosperlincoln.org and see those statistics. I think some of you will be shocked. Like me, as an outsider, I was just, it was a little different. I think maybe some of you may be too close to it. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.